What do you think this Marine's grip strength is? The guy's size is solid, and judging by his shaking hands, he's got a lot of power. The device showed 175.4 pounds, which is relatively small in kilograms, just 79.5. This shorts has gained incredible popularity, so I decided to look for what Marines are capable of in terms of grip and came across Michael Eckert channel, who was doing a full front lever on a garage door. As you can see, he's hanging just on his fingers. And yeah, it's not something incredible for athletes who do calisthenics, but this guy definitely has a powerful grip. For example, in this video he throws a 20 kg disc and catches it by the rib. Again, try it yourself, it's not easy, even for athletes with grip training experience. Also, on his YouTube channel I found a video with the title "Most pull-ups in 1 minute, world record." And of course I already imagined something in a CrossFit technique and thought not to talk about it at all, especially since the video is about the grip. But after opening the video I was surprised because Michael really performed a clean 50 pull-ups in just 1 minute, and this is fucking strong result. The technique at the same time, as you can see, clean, without jerking and swinging, and in such a result in pull-ups, the grip has a direct relationship. That is why I wondered whether Michael trains his grip specifically or whether he's naturally so strong. Luckily he is a blogger, so I found it out quite easily. And the first tip Michael gives is to train on the ledges. That is not on the bars where you can grip the bar, but on the ledges, so that you can actively work your fingers, and not to use straps, because you will never have a strong grip. Another good way to train your grip, and in particular your fingers, is to use any kind of equipment for climbers. Michael, as you can see, uses such hooks in his workouts. Also, there is a little bit of dumbbell grip. As you can see, Michael advises to do lunges or any other exercises that involve static holding of dumbbells with a rib grip. I haven't seen such a variant, by the way. In short, there are a lot of variants. I have shown only the most unusual and interesting ones. Of course, today we're mostly talking about strength of your forearms, not about their volume, but still I was interested how much can press, for example, Raymond Dino, the guy with the biggest forearms on the planet in my opinion. 45 centimeters. I found this video on Jesse James' channel. Raymond squeezed 45 kg without any problems, 68 kg also very easily, and even 90 kg just without the slightest problem. Next was 113 kg, also closed quite easily. Well, and the last expander is 136 kg. As you can see, even a man with such forearms did not manage. Also, it should be noted that this step from 113 to 136 in this particular movement is quite big, and it is a serious difference. It turns out that size does matter, but does the system work the other way around? If you do grip exercises, will your forearms grow? Or is this muscle group as stubborn as your calves, which only grow if God kissed you at birth? This guy named John Atala tested this theory on himself. He spent 30 days doing exercises with an Expandex to see if there was any gain in the forearms from one super simple movement. One important clarification. John bought an expander with adjustable resistance, so that he could progress the load over the next 30 days. In order not to recount the whole episode, I'll just tell you that the strength in the work with the expander increased significantly over the 30 days, especially in the left arm, which is understandable. But did the volume increase? And here I was personally surprised, because both of his forearms, according to the measurements, grew by 1.5 centimeters, which is kinda big deal. John himself was also surprised, but the sad thing is that the result was constantly different when he repeated the measurements. The increase was only 1 centimeter, then 1.2 centimeters, which tells us that to accurately measure the forearms is certainly a more difficult task than pumping them up. But the conclusion remains the same. The forearms have definitely grown, because the athlete never returned to his original measurements before training, no matter how many times he remeasured his forearms. So the conclusion is simple. If you want big forearms, it definitely makes sense to pump them separately. In previous episodes we talked a lot about climbers, so today I don't want to touch them, but still I was interested how much can press, for example, the top climber of the world, and also was curious about strength of gymnasts. I found this short video in which gymnasts one by one squeezed the dynamometer. What was my surprise, but 90% of the results range up to 55 kg, which is low even for non-athletes. This guy, who was in a preview, is a coach, and what do you think? His result was a miserable 42 kg, which you cannot tell by looking at his arm. So the best score was 77 kg. I don't know, probably all because gymnasts are not the heaviest and the largest athletes, so the relative strength of their grip is not exactly a record breaker. And yes, going back to climbers. With equal size, they show much more significant results in the grip, it's true. By the way, the strongest climber in the world, Adam Ondra, squeezed 73.2 kg. So there is still no direct gradation of the athlete's skills in his sport and the strength of his grip. But the overall performance of climbers is usually higher than that of gymnasts. The funny thing about grip training is that it's sport that doesn't age, and I often see how oldest athletes beat younger opponents. One of such examples is the big man named Odd Hogan. At the age of 73, he lifted 79 kg without any problems. Just so you understand, Jujimufu, this jock, gave his last to move this weight at least a couple centimeters from the ground, neither with his left nor right hand, while Odd not only lifted this weight without any problems, but also held it. This is an indicator that this weight is far from being his limit. Looking ahead, I'll say that Odd beat Juji and Manos in absolutely every grip movement, the most difficult of which, in my opinion, was the square bar deadlift. In this movement, your fingers should be incredibly strong, and I expected high results from Odd, but 110 kg for 2 times surprised even me. Again, this is how Juji tried to do this movement with a weight of 10 kg less. But climber is also surprised me. Manos lifted 80 kg, which for his weight, and he is clearly 3 times smaller than his opponents, is not bad. And 94 kg Manos unfortunately failed. So now let's get to the fun part. Popular blogger Brownie not so long ago measured the grip of the famous athletes such as Phil Heath, Ronnie Coleman, Chris Heria, and a lot of other fitness stars. The result of some of them will amaze you, trust me. So the first in line is Chris Heria, the face of modern calisthenics. Perhaps not the strongest athlete from this discipline, but certainly by his results you can estimate plus-minus average performance in the grip of calisthenic athletes. For some reason he pressed with his left hand and the result was 66 kg, which is, remembering the gymnasts, not bad. Next in line was a big man, Martin Ford, who pressed 82.9 kg. No questions here, the machine. At the same expo there was Maxim Trukhanovets. The result he showed was 64.3 kg, plus-minus like Chris. And as I said, the average results of calisthenics athletes is approximately in this zone. By the way, let me show off and remind you that I also train my grip and have tried squeezing the dynamometer too, and here is how it went down. At the same time it was squeezed by Dmitry Grunsky, the same guy who was pulling wagons, and his result was 102 kg. But Dmitry is already a professional arm lifter, who pays special attention to the grip. But let's return to the expo, whose grip impressed me. For example, Ronnie Coleman, who has long been far from his peak condition, and in general from professional sports showed 57.4 kg. But the coolest of all showed Leonidas Arcona. If you do not know who is this guy, he's the strongest man in Germany. A video of how strong he is probably a good reason for a separate video, so write in the comments if so. So Leonidas immediately stated that he would just break this device, to which Brownie was of course surprised. But let's see what happened in the end. Well, he didn't lie, Leonidas actually broke this device, which was designed for 90 kg maximum, and according to him the maximum record is 110 kg. That is why he was so sure that this device, after such a handshake, will just say goodbye. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and watch these videos as well. With you as always was Fyodor Chepky, see you soon.